If you plan to never get booked again, this is one way to do it. Okay, turn it off. That's all we can afford. What's going on, you guys? Steve here, and let's react to some more DJ content. Musicians need to stop performing/entertaining for free or low pay at local venues. The reason no one pays musicians what they're worth anymore is because some of y'all willingly accept peanuts as pay, so that's become the norm. Have a little bit of self-respect and stop taking that. Please and thank you. I mean, does anybody have a problem with this? I think lowballing newcomers that don't have any type of standards, they just do it for attention, clout, and a couple tequila shots. I think that's the reason why there's not much money in DJing on a local level. Because if DJs actually unified, yeah, I know that sounds kind of crazy, we would get better treatment and better pay. A big problem for local DJs is they could say, hey, this is my standard, this is what I'm worth, this is my value, and these clubs will be like, yeah, right. Why am I going to pay you that? My nephew will do it for free. So yeah, I do think this is a problem, and I agree. I think DJs should have a standard. If you're going to be in professional spaces, because I know there's people in the comments who are going to be trying to virtue signal, you should do it for free, and you should do it for the love, and I love music, and I don't get paid. Cool. You're bad at business. But that has nothing to do with me, and that is not my problem. Let's just check out the comments. The reason nobody pays musicians is because there's not a lot of good musicians anymore. Jesus. This person has no idea what they're talking about, and we should not listen to this person. If we're going to be honest, most of the people who book DJs nowadays don't book based on merit. So to sit here and say, oh, DJs aren't getting paid a bunch because they're not good, bro, what? Some of the highest paid DJs in the space are just influencers. They're just celebrities. They started DJing like last week. I've been DJing professionally for almost 15 years full time, and I can tell you right now, you need to have negotiation skills. Do not come in here with some hippy dippy mindset, oh, I'm just gonna do it for the love. You're not very smart if you do that, and you're screwing everybody else over. Learn how to negotiate, build up those skills, know your value, and understand how to articulate your value. A bunch of these clubs abuse all these newcomer schmucks who don't know how to negotiate. In my opinion, it's fine to play a free show for free. As soon as any tickets are being sold, you gotta pay me. This guy doesn't know what he's talking about either. This is the problem. My God, what's wrong with you guys? Actually, what's wrong with y'all? I'm a professional musician, so I understand you have to have a business mind in this space. I'm not just some money-hungry goon who just doesn't play music unless you're throwing cash in my face. So let's get that straight. At my core, I love music. I have a genuine passion for this. I live for this stuff, but I do think you're not very smart if you come into these professional spaces and you don't have a professional mindset. To sit here and say you're going to DJ for free until tickets come out is really dumb, because most of these bars and clubs don't charge tickets. You can get in for free. Everybody else in the building is getting paid. The janitor is getting paid. The manager is getting paid. The bartender is getting paid. Security is getting paid. Everybody in the room is getting paid except you, the DJ, the guy who's expected to bring the crowd, market the whole event, and play the event. This is honestly why local DJs don't make much money. This is literally why. You're seeing it in 4K. Also shame venues that don't pay or promote.
The bars aren't pulling me anymore. The beats are, but the bars aren't pulling me. I've been listening to a lot of Biggie lately. That's the thing. Like, I haven't been in a modern space for some time. I have a very high bar for hip hop. I mean, it's what it was our art form. It always has been. And I'm not gonna lie to you, a lot of people have gotten really lazy lately.
I fell out of love with hip hop during the pandemic. I felt like a bunch of the top artists were just making really generic, uninspired music. Once the pandemic hit, it felt like a bunch of rappers started making really basic music that was catered towards TikTok. They stopped making cohesive bodies of work, and it felt like everybody was just making jingles that would just get them engagement. It's kind of weird because 2025 is one of the lowest performing years for hip hop if we're talking commercial success. But we're also getting some of the best music if we're talking lyrical content since COVID. I have the brand new Clips album hanging right above my head. We're starting to see this comeback of lyrical content, and I love it. It's not about twerking and TikTok slop. These artists are actually making great projects, not singles, projects. Even though they're not going #1, I genuinely think we're getting some of the best music we've had in years. DJing in 2015, played music from 2015. DJing in 2025, playing music from 2012. Yeah, this is crazy. It's such a trip because this is probably the first time since the inception of DJing where playing the newest music isn't the meta. It's not the cool thing to do. When I'm in the club nowadays, I mostly hear mashups. Most of these DJs are playing new instrumentals with throwback lyrics, or the songs are just flips of older songs. They're like tech house remixes of Nelly and stuff like that. I've spoken on this a billion times, but it's because we don't have monoculture. We're not all listening to the same music at the same time anymore. So the safe play for a bunch of DJs is to drop throwbacks, those songs that everybody's familiar with. It's not because DJs are stuck in the past, it's because everybody knows those songs and they dance to those songs. When you play new songs, it splits the crowds. I've talked this topic to death. Let's just read the comments. The amount of music being churned out means little gets chance to stick. It's impossible impossible for anyone to keep up with, so we revert to simpler times and play into the power of nostalgia. It works. This is basically what I just said. Everybody is familiar with music from 2012 because we all listen to the same stuff. These algorithms weren't tearing everybody apart like they are now. Also, keeping up with new music just feels like homework. Every week I'm finding out a billion projects that just dropped and it's like, bro, I can't keep up with all this stuff. I can't listen to everything. I definitely think these algorithms and just the times in general have done a job on music. The amount of times I would play a new song and people are like, I don't know this. And there's that. DJs used to be the gateway to new music. It used to be cool. People used to go to the clubs to hear new music, but now people only dance to what they know. So if you drop new music, there's a high chance you're going to clear a dance floor. A bunch of DJs circumvent this by playing mashups. I'm not crazy about mashups. I think most of them sound kind of crappy, but I understand why people do them. So I asked my subscribers, what's the biggest misconception about DJing? And let's check out some of your comments. That DJing is a single monolithic activity. There are so many kinds of DJs, from club DJs, turntablists, superstar festival DJs, event DJs, radio DJs, underground DJs, playlist players, etc. I agree, and we've reacted to a couple different types of DJs here on the channel. Not too long ago, I reacted to a video of a WNBA DJ. There's much more than just DJing weddings, clubs, stuff like that. Honestly, I found out there's this whole subculture of streaming DJs. It's okay to use the sync button. Literally no one in the crowd will know or care. I don't use sync. I prefer the tempo slider simply because I like to have that manual control over my tempo. I don't want to be in a situation like Grimes at Coachella where I'm just pressing a button and not checking it, and then I could have like a double time track that plays like the Chipmunks. I want to hear it and have that control. Sync is perfectly fine though. I recommend it for newer DJs for sure. It can also free up your hands for more technical routines. Personally, I don't understand the stigma around it. People think it just auto mixes everything. You can put stuff on sync and still have terrible transitions. I've seen it. It's the most basic and ignorant take, but a very common one. DJs usually aren't just pressing play and doing effects. I think this narrative has done so much damage to DJ culture. I think there's a bunch of people who enter this space haphazardly because they think it's just going to be a quick check and free attention, and they don't realize the work that goes into it. And the casual fans, they think it's just black and white, famous or not. They think, oh, anybody could do this. It's simple. It's just about being famous. It's about just having a name. And it's not. There's so much work that goes into this stuff just outside of the technical ability of DJing. From the marketing side of it, negotiations as we just covered. My God, what's wrong with you guys? Actually, what's wrong with y'all? You have to have a basic understanding of music theory, and it's kind of funny because most DJs don't even know what the heck music theory is. It's not as simple as just pushing buttons, putting some headphones on, and looking cool. But most people believe that's all it is. Skill literally does not matter, and the crowd cares more about song selection than beat matching or an actual DJ skills. When it boils down to it, the casual fans don't care about scratching and technical ability. They don't care if you're some Red Bull champion turntablist. It has nothing to do with the skill. It has nothing to do with anything else. Are you famous and do you play songs I like? I think that's kind of trash. I think people should have higher standards than that, but they don't. Man, I'm not gonna lie, this video is insane. I've actually seen this a couple times before. I had several subs send me this because they wanted to see my reaction. If you plan to never get booked again, this is one way to do it. This is so wild to me because I can't even imagine doing this. Whenever I'm playing support for a bigger DJ, I try to carve out at least 3 to 5 minutes at the end of my set so there's a transitional period. I don't have some big ego about this stuff. Like, it's okay for the next DJ to get a minute or two out of my set time, kind of setting up. I try to make that transition as easy as possible, I'll ask the next DJ like, hey, do you want me to have like some drum outro? Do you want me to just kill it at the time so you can just hop on and have like some big grand intro for your songs? How do you want me to go about this transition? Typically the DJs that come on after me are super chill. They're like, yeah, just play whatever. I'll take a drum intro. I don't really care. Either way, just do you. I try to make that transition period as simple as possible, so I'm prepared, you know, in the last 2-3 minutes to just walk off. Staying over like this, putting hands on people is nuts. I'm sure this guy probably never played again.
I'm not gonna lie, at this point, Instagram just need to make the whole app strictly views. Delete the comments, delete the likes, and just make it strictly views. Because people just watch you on the app all day. They don't actually support you. People are just watching. They're watching your story, they're watching your page. They need to just make the page a view count on all of the pictures and videos and everything, and a view count on the story. Delete the likes, delete the comments. Just make it all views. And change the app name to views. Don't even call it Instagram no more at this point.
Let's check out the comments. Then see you in public and be like, I see what you doing on IG, doing your thing. Most people won't support you unless they see it's popular to support you. Social proof. Man, listen, I'm learning the only way through is to build something so aligned with who I really am that I never have to perform for the algorithm. Honestly, that's how I came to build this channel. I really just wanted to speak to the average DJ's experience, the stuff we deal with, those conversations we have in private with our friends, family, other DJs. I really didn't want to get into like cringy reels and skits and all the goofy stuff, all the antics and rage bait and stuff like that. I really wanted to make stuff that I deem quality, stuff that has substance, stuff that can spark conversations and help other people. I realized whatever type of content you make, it has to be genuine and it has to be something you enjoy. Not just something that gets engagement, not something that's just going to get a bunch of likes and validation, stuff that you can actually stomach and live with. Something you're proud of, stuff that you like putting out there. I feel like you're losing the battle if you're out here seeking validation for the stuff that you do. And like that other person said, let me pull up that comment. Yeah, this Mr. Leroy comment. This person crushed it. There's people in your life who will only support you once they see other people supporting you. It's not because you suck. It's not because you're trash. They just don't want to be the first ones out there saying, hey, good job, you're crushing it, sick. So don't beat yourself up about it if all of your friends are out here supporting Shaq more than you. It doesn't always mean you suck. Just stay the course, keep doing what you love, what you're passionate about, the stuff you want out there in the cosmos for people to see. If a DJ is getting a lot of requests, does that mean he's doing a bad job? No. There's people out there who will make requests just because they just want to hear a song. It's not because you're doing something bad. I've played packed clubs before and people walk up to me asking for songs. It doesn't mean you're doing something wrong. It just means they want to hear something. If you've been DJing in a club for 3 hours and everybody's standing against the wall, there's a whole line to make requests, yeah, you're probably doing something wrong. But generally speaking, some people just walk up to you, so don't take it personal. I guess that's all I got for this one. You guys let me know what you think in the comments. As always, I appreciate you guys, and I'll catch you in the next one.